Meeting is now streaming live on.
Oh yeah. So your picture is your room?
My picture is my room?
Yeah, your thumbnail. It looks really pretty. It looks like your room.
Show me, let me see.
Wait. Oh, there. Oh no. Okay. I guess the thumbnail. They choose a thumbnail for you, and is that like, that could be your cover art. Anyway.
Yeah,
Oh my
they choose
god.
the thumbnail and then you have to go in. Hi, the black announcement. Hey, girl.
Let me
If
give
we
you a
don't
thumbs
get to
up right
say
away.
hi as much, it's because we're still trying to work out the kinks of this. But hey, everybody. Hey, hey, hey.
Hi. I'm looking at your thing on my cell phone, and I don't see comments. I don't
Really,
know
I
why.
see them. I see them on my
Because you're getting them in real time.
yeah.
Oh
What's up,
shucks.
guys? Hi, guys. Hi, hi, hi. Thank you so much for joining us. It's Isabel on YouTube and me, of course, Sade Watkins. And you guys see the title, so you know we love to get in some shit.
Hello, everyone.
We're gonna wait for the rest of you guys to kind of like roll in. And sorry if we're not particularly familiar with this. Like this is our first time doing this. Isabel brought this to my attention for us to go live, and she did a lot of beautiful work to try to figure out how we could both, you know, conduct a conversation together and whatnot. So we're gonna wait for the rest of you guys to roll in, and then we're gonna get ready and like, you know, cover some topics and stuff. Obviously, towards the end of the video, I'm gonna go in and add the, you know, corrective stuff for the description box so that you guys can have like contextual, like, you know, timestamps and stuff like that. And yeah, of course, we're gonna be answering questions at the end of the video. So yeah.
Oh, I can see your questions now.
Okay, perfect,
Oh, your
perfect. Yes, we are
participant.
gonna save this.
Oh, yay. So if
I,
I look away, I don't want to be rude. I'm looking at my phone to follow along with the
no,
question.
no, no, it's fine, it's fine. Okay, I think I'm gonna close this page now. And yeah, I guess we can pretty much start. This is so exciting. Wow, this is like really, really exciting. Thank you so much for proposing this. It's nice.
Thank you for saying yes, boo. You know, I don't have like a lot of people on YouTube that I admire on your level, like that I really like. So when you say yes, I was mad surprised and happy and then nervous because I was like, shit, now I gotta do it. And
Look, we're
that's why
all
it took me
nervous.
like freaking 48 hours to figure out how to go live, how to do it with a guest, and how to stream it on YouTube.
Bro, 48, you took 70, you literally took
Yo, it was a
last 2
minute.
days
It
to
was a
commit
minute. I
to
went outside during the coronavirus. I went to Best Buy. I was like, oh, like to get this and my webcam. So I took
it's
a
okay.
risk,
Other
but
people
it
are
was
outside.
worth it. It
Yes,
was worth
it
it.
is worth it. So I think enough of you guys are already in, and yes, of course, we are gonna save this on, you know, my platform and stuff like that. But also, please feel free to check out Isabel's channel afterwards. She makes really amazing vlogs. I'm not sure if I should look at you or the webcam, but
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at you because I want to feel like I'm talking to you. So it's gonna look like I'm not looking at you, but
it's
looking at the webcam is you're right here. I want to talk to you.
okay, so yeah, let's just get started. I think there's probably enough people. I can't tell, but it doesn't matter. I'm sure people will catch up later. But yeah, our first thing that we wanted to touch on is how we're both doing while, you know, the quarantine is like taking place and how we're managing and stuff like that. So I feel like I've been talking a lot, so I want to give, you know, the mic to you and just hear like how you've been managing on a on a personal level.
When the news of the coronavirus started spreading around, I took it really lightly. As the days progressed, I got more cautious, and for
Mhm.
some reason, and normally I'm mad kind of. I'm worry a lot. I'm a worrisome person. I have like nightmares every night because I worry so much. But I don't know why I'm not worried about coronavirus. Like it's so weird. I'm worried about hurting another person, like passing it, not knowing I have it, and then that next person is like cooked because of me. Now, like for example, a senior citizen, a person with a delicate immune system, I'm afraid to hurt somebody else. But for myself, for some reason, I'm like, I'm not that worried, but I'm following all the rules to keep everybody else safe. I go outside when I have to. I go outside for groceries, or I go outside when no one's out there, like late at night after dinner. In
Yeah,
the hood in Harlem, I live in Harlem. For everyone who doesn't know, born and raised, hey.
I was
And
gonna
it's and it's mad dead, which is scary because I do not like to go outside when it's dead. But me and John go for a walk and I get my, my movement, my fresh air during those times. And when I'm around people, like when I go buy groceries, I put my mask on.
say. Mhm.
So I've been just taking it easy doing that. At home is fine. John is here. He works from home now. Like he doesn't know when he's gonna go back to work like everybody else.
How
So
was
we're
it?
like here all day, but he's in the room. I'm here. So we're not on top of each other.
How is it? How was he able to interject his ability to work from home with the kind of job that he has. I'm not sure what kind of job he has, but like
Yeah, he's supposed to meet a lot of clients. So
Mhm.
all of that has been put on freeze. So now he's just doing administrative work and Zoom, like we're doing with his clients, with his colleagues and things like that. But it's literally like this man, yo, I'm impressed. Because he's home, but he's not. Like he's so focused. He's in the zone, in the room throughout the whole day. I have to like knock on the door and be like, lunch is ready. The one difference is now we have the mimosas at
Okay.
lunch. Like I'm here pouring a little orange juice and a little brute, whatever it's called, and we have mimosas with our lunch. But he's really dedicated, and I'm out here doing my thing, so we're not sick of each other, anything like that.
Yes, I
Thank
love
God.
it.
What about you?
I feel like me and Steph are doing a good job managing staying quarantined to the
Hmm.
best of our ability. We only go out literally at night, although he did leave earlier today because the way that his job is still he works at a dealership, and for him to pick up his check or like get, he doesn't do direct deposit, so he had to literally go and pick up his check, but he had been left a job like maybe a week and a half ago. And I guess to kind of like backtrack and kind of provide some like contextual information, when it was weird because the coronavirus had kind of been trending a little bit for like maybe the last like 2 or 3 weeks, but the way that it was affecting, I guess, my ears was that it was kind of falling on deaf ears. So I knew to practically, be safe and make sure that I wasn't going outside and, harming other people and stuff like that. And obviously washing my hands.
Hmm.
But I remember the day where it kind of seemed more profound in the community because everywhere I live in Mount Vernon, shout out to Mount Vernon, but
Yeah.
everywhere we went, it was just it felt very tense. It felt like everybody felt the weightedness of where the nationwide, situation was headed. And it felt like everybody was like moving in a way that it was like their last days. And that honestly kind of spooked me a lot because I don't know. I don't think we've ever lived in a time where we've all been halted by the same situation. Although this year has been kind of the first circumstance that we've had to deal with that, like when Pop Smoke died, when Kobe Bryant passed away and stuff like that. It kind of put the world at halt, if you so acknowledge these figures and stuff like that, where we're all just like, what is going on right now? So for us to kind of be in a nationwide, so to speak, panic, it kind of feels like weird, especially because I feel like the way that Black people manage pain in a way that we're all feeling is it can either be extremely chaotic or it can be very still.
Or
And
hilarious. Like the
yes,
community knows
yes.
how to cut up.
Yes, and but being out, it was, and that's what actually made it so weird because being on Instagram, we all have kind of like feeds that are curated to our own personal interests. So I'm still seeing beauty and all these different things
Mhm.
all day. But when I go outside and I go to my local corner store, the way that the environment is outside, like it literally felt like a spiritual switch. Like it felt like everybody was moving in a way. It wasn't particularly militant. It just felt like, you ever watch a slow movie and they slow down like the impact of a car going into
Mhm.
something? That's how it felt. It felt like everybody was impacted by the same news in the same way and moving in a way that was very fragile. And it almost felt like at any given moment, like if you brush by the person the wrong way, like it could have
Yes.
turned into a completely
Yes.
different
Yes.
scenario. But everyone was trying to be avoidant of that as much as possible because they didn't want to create like a more chaotic environment, if that makes any sense. I
Yeah,
feel
that's exactly what's happening. Everybody, when there's lines formed, like I told you, I had to go to Best Buy yesterday. Everybody was like the mandatory 6 feet apart. The
like
line was, there was like 10, 20, maybe like 15 people in line, but it looked so long because everyone was stretched far apart. When I go to Rite Aid, everyone is stretched apart. Like everybody's really cautious in the hood, and I love it.
yes, no,
I
as they
really like
should
it.
be, as they should be, because we're the communities that are going to be affected the most, or so they say. I don't want to speak that over the community and stuff like that, but it in essence, it would make particular sense that we would be the most affected. Like, how will everyone have? We don't have the same accessibility to the care or privileges that people who don't live in impoverished neighborhoods or like have. I don't know, we're just not going to have the same things. We're not going to have the same benefits. We're not going to have the same accessibility. It's definitely going to be harder for us if in the next coming weeks things start to become incredibly more not that great.
We have each other's backs. That's usually the case. Usually the case is the community comes through for the community. And I'm thankful for that, because I don't even, and it's so sad because it's like I'm letting them off the hook, but I don't even depend or even look to the administration for any type of guidance or realness, because up until now they've been lying and talking about that it's a Democratic hoax, while doing all that shady shit with the trading underneath, like selling stock that they knew was about to plunge and buying stock that they knew was going to go up. Senators. So while they was telling everybody, or they was telling all of us in the community, oh, it's nothing, it's a Democratic hoax, it's no big deal, they was buying and trading, getting ready, getting paid, not thinking about us.
Getting ready.
That's insider trading, but nobody gives a fuck because it's like white administrators doing that. But the community, it's sad, but it's also like, thank God that we have each other, that we always have each other's back. Like I be thinking about my neighbors, and I talk to my neighbors, and we like say what's going on here. Everything, my super, he's so dope. He cleans everything down every day. You know what I mean? Those little things, they matter, because if you're a bum ass super, then we're all getting sick. You know what I mean?
Like a notice.
In the home, outside. I'm talking about in my apartment, outside to the building and the greater community, my neighborhood. Everyone have each other's back. Like there's no, I haven't seen any fighting in the street. You know what I mean? And normally there's somebody arguing.
Yeah, same. And I was, that's what I was concerned about the day that I had stepped out and the news had kind of like broken in a way that made everybody kind of like walk on eggshells. I was very scared that because of the way that things were so tense, because, you know, at that point, you know, people start to get really primal. So everyone is thinking about survival. Everyone's thinking about their family. And that's how the energy felt. And I was scared that people were going to start to kind of really succumb to the mass hysteria of it and start to get really gritty about, you know, I'm taking what's mine because I got to protect me and mine, you know?
Because survival is what's in our DNA from thousands of years ago.
Right.
And that's whack, because we mass civilized now. But I just saw, and I try to stay away from shit like this. I just, you know, I don't have, like, I'll uninstall Instagram. I only reinstall it when I want to let my community know that I posted a new video. But I just saw that video of those two girls hitting that woman for the, like, because they had like all these toilet paper, and she was like, yo, I just want one. And they both hit her for that. Did you see that? Have you heard about that? They jumped this woman pretty much for toilet paper. They had a cart full of toilet paper. You're at home, you have soap and water. That's going to leave you much cleaner than toilet paper will.
I said the same thing. I thought it was kind of strange that people went out their way to get so much, like to overconsume toilet paper. But, you know, everyone has different perspectives on what's going to keep them safe and like help them survive. So I didn't want to judge, but when it comes to stuff like that, like when people start getting actually primal and you start to see like the effects of it, I have to social media like cleanse myself out of those spaces and stuff like that, because it can be overwhelming, especially when you're already a person of color or identifying as a Black woman and stuff like that. Just there are I don't know, people become malevolent, you know, people become, and I think that was to my point about what we were talking about the other day, which I'll jump into later, but like people become more of their true selves, you know? A lot of the microaggressions that you would hide down from the monotony of your life of feeling frustrated and stuff like that, it doesn't take too much for you to kind of act in that emotion anymore, because you're so wound up by the fact that it's like, why do you have all that toilet paper right now? Like, give me one. Like, fuck out of here, bitch. Like, now I'm about to, you know, it's just all this energy. And it's like, no funny shit, you would not even act like that in a regular circumstance. But because now you have this other thing that's like kind of weighing on you, you're like, fuck it, I'm about to go all in. And I feel like it's important to highlight that too, because at any given moment, forever which circumstance that it might apply to any of us, we're all probably going to get to that point. And I think that's the scary thing about this whole thing at large, that what's everyone's cap before things start getting real, God forbid, like dystopian, like, you know, like that is like my biggest concern. And that's why I try to stay out of the social media aspect of it, because that could potentially bring a lot of worry to me. And I don't want to say like, you know, ignorance is bliss and just kind of like, you know, numb it out. But, you know, we all know what we can handle, and that's not something I can handle right now. So I try to like very much occupy my space with, you know, what's important to me. So right now, like just cleaning up the house, going back to like how we are and stuff like that, just cleaning up the house. I've been really focused on, I guess, like creating more minimalism and stuff like that in my house. Although I haven't entirely perfected it, I want to start to, you know, re-engage in that aspect and obviously make more changes in my home.
It's a journey, like they say.
Yes, it is. But
So
yeah,
what
just
have you been like? What would you recommend to people? What are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you reading? What are you doing? Since we're home most of the time, we just go outside to the supermarket. So what are you doing at home?
you know, I feel like it's just me and Steph having a lot of conversation. Like we're talking about like I guess the hypothetical ways that, all of what our current, situation is can like go in, and we're just kind of like hopeful and prayerful about the best. Like right now, if anything, what I've been reading, sorry, let me get this book. I actually just picked it up the other day. It's called Whispers of Hope, and it's 366 devotions. I picked it up at a gas station.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and like every day it has like March 7th it says not like everyone, or like March 19th it says forgiveness. So I'll just go through this book and just kind of like meditate on, I guess you could say, the word in some essence and stuff like that, and just kind of focus on what that means for the future, and like how I want to like move about and stuff like that, and like how I want to navigate things. What else have I been doing? Just cleaning, cooking and stuff. Nothing that's really, I don't get outside a lot naturally because I am a YouTuber. So a lot of like what I do is like inside, unfortunately. So I do kind of live like a hermit lifestyle. Sorry if you hear somebody like texting me. But yeah, it's just a lot of conversation with Steph, reading. I've been watching, what did I watch? I watched Love Jones. That's a great movie. Some
Yes.
people said that they didn't like it,
Classic.
but I love it. What about you? What have you been watching? What have you been like looking into?
So I saw this wild movie before everything started to hit hard in Manhattan, and I started to feel the effects of the seriousness. I went to one last movie because they just closed like the theaters are all closed down, and it hurts me because I'm a movie person. Like me and John be in the theater all the time, every week, or I go by myself. And I know some people don't, which is so interesting to me. But I go by myself to dinner if I have to movies,
Right.
whatever. I saw this wild movie. It's called Hunt or The Hunt, and it's a lot. Like they stirring shit up because it's Democrats in this movie. Democrats, like the left elitists, are hunting down the um what do you, I'm going to quote it because that's what they call them, deplorables.
Mhm.
So like what people, like the people that are misinformed in the world, the big racists, the big bigots, the big MAGA guys, like they're being hunted by the Democrats, and it gets gory, it gets bloody. It's kind of stupid and kind of funny. That's the last thing I saw in the movie theater, but I've been listening to my podcast, and I love my podcast. Like to me, they're like my friends in my heart and in my head. And one time I actually met Crystal do you remember he got locked up, which is like, oh, what's his name? Fuck. I forgot his name. Taxstone. Do you know who Taxstone is?
No.
He's real hood, real like I love him, and he has a podcast. And I was like an avid listener. I went to his live.
Mhm.
I went to his live, and Crystal and Fury were there from the Read, and I was so shy I couldn't even say shit to her. Like my friend, I was with my friend Camilla, who's like in a few of my videos,
Mhm.
and Camilla was like, "Say something to her." Like Crystal was right in my face, and I just went, "Oh." And I just walked the other way. And I'm like, Crystal probably thinks I have like a crush on her now. But I was just like, I love her so much. I just get choked up. But I listened to The Read. I listened to Getting Grown. I listened to Friend Zone. I listened to the Bodega Boys. You know the Bodega Boys?
No, I need
No,
to
they are everything.
on
I love
podcast.
them. They are from the Bronx. So
Okay.
I spent many years in the Bronx too. I went to college, to high school, and to junior high school in the Bronx.
Mhm.
And and they are so Bronx. Like there is Jesus and Mero, and they are real Bronx guys. They are hilarious. They have their own show on Showtime. Okay, like I feel like my brother made it. Like just like you made it. You know what I mean? Like they got their show on Showtime from Bodega Boys, and they still do the podcast. I've been reading Children of Blood and Bone, which is mad good. Have
Yeah,
you
I know you said that earlier. I'm gonna
Yeah,
definitely put that on my
it's
reading
really
list.
good. I like books like that. I like books that mix it all. It's almost like they have all right, how do I explain it, the outcasts, I guess, the people that are hated upon, and the people with the magic, which is such symbolism because it's so true. It's really good. I don't want to go ahead and spoil it. I keep books like that just like I do movies. I try not to spoil too much. um so podcasts, books, I paint, so I've been drawing like little doodles like this, so I'm gonna cover that. So that's John. I drew John watching TV. I drew John watching adult film, so that's why I'm covering this. But it was funny, we were both on the couch watching Dave, which is like a new show that I recommend. You know Little Dicky? That white boy. He's a
yes.
white boy rapper, but he's funny and smart, and he has his own show now, and he brings his same quirkiness to the show, and it's fucking hilarious. So I've been watching that. But I draw, so I draw. John wrote me a poem the other day. You want me to read it to you?
Yes, go
Yeah,
ahead.
can I read it? Yeah, I don't want tacos. Okay. So he wrote The Adventures of John and Isabel. In a viral outbreak, I get the pleasure of having that infinite you, the feeling I look forward to before work, during lunch, and after school. You. This is true. Me and you, alive and well, strong as always, because we have more. Adventures of John and Isabel. So I've been doing art.
Okay.
I've been watching like a bunch of shows on TV and on my podcast, but I keep it going. Like that's my normal flow. What I do, I've been trying to work out. So I'll do like I have a kettlebell here. I'll do some squats. I'll do some arm workouts. And like I said, I go for walks. I could go to my roof. I have access to my roof, go up and down the steps because I can't stay still.
Yeah.
I can't. Like I'm not the type of person, and I got to keep this stimulated. Also, I'm really fucked because if this is not stimulated, I'm reflecting on painful things.
Yeah.
Like I told you that that me and my mom are not cool. We were though. Like how everybody's making fun of Coco T,
No.
Coco Ice T's girl.
No, what are they saying?
Because she breastfeed. She put a photo on social
media
breastfeeding her 4-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
I was breastfed late in life. Now I'm not judging her or anyone who doesn't. Like if you think it's gross, fine. If you think it's great, fine. I don't have a child. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's the truth. I was breastfed late in life. So me and my mom were bonded. Like I used to sleep with her. I was stuck on her like glue, and now we don't have anything. And now that this is happening, I'm seeing her as a fragile senior by herself in Florida, and I feel sad. And when she texts me to check on me to make sure I'm cleaning my light switches and bleaching everything down, I give her like one sentence, like, I'm okay, thank you, you too. Like literally, like if you're my ex that broke my heart, and I'm just replying to be polite, but deep down inside she has no clue that I'm crying for her because I wish I could be there for her because she's my mother.
Yeah, and I think that
but it's just mad pain there, like
yes,
and I can't care. It's like I can't show that I care because it's anger. Like the anger blocks all of that. And I wonder how other people like me that have sensitivities and traumas, what if that's like if being home all day alone with your thoughts is stirring those feelings up.
Yeah,
like how they're handling it. I'm being cordial with my mom, and I don't want nothing to happen to her, because if something happened to her, I'll be devastated. But I still can't be like, yo, I like call her, FaceTime her. I haven't done any of that. It's literal whack ass text messages. So it's a lot.
It is. And as it pertains to the quarantine and, our next topics as far as cabin fever and family traumas and how, a situation like this could kind of like, reignite those things. I think this is a great bridge into that conversation and stuff like that, because there are people who are experiencing this quarantine in a completely different way if they don't have love surrounding them. And I think that it is important to acknowledge those people, because I'm sure that they're having a hard time, or those who might be mentally infringed and stuff like that, who are looking for support and stuff, or might not have the support. And I think about that all the time as well. Like for me, because I do live somewhat of a recluse kind of life, I don't go outside a lot. And I think a lot of that is due to my PTSD and like some other things that obviously contextually I will provide for in like other videos and stuff like that. But I can't imagine, as much as people refer to cabin fever, like, making them hostile and, whatever it is that cabin fever can like bring out of you, like extreme boredom and like idleness and all these different types of things, very much potentially for depending on what kind of person you are and how you perceive life. For me, because I freshly came out of a violent relationship before I met Steph, and now that I am in a really good place, more so mentally more solid, and I'm in a good place in my relationship, I can't imagine if I was here like this whole, 360 odd so days later, and I did not know Steph. And I had the same family dynamic that I had coming out of the type of violent relationship that I just came out of. Like, I don't know how being alone in this way would affect me and my mentality and stuff like that, because I was already kind of infringed, which also plays a big part on why I don't go out a lot and why I don't ingest a lot of media. So when you're suggesting things to me, some of those things, like I'll see them in passing if I'm on the Shade Room, or it's wide world media, so you see it, but I don't digest it I don't digest it as much and stuff like that. So my world kind of does revolve around myself and Steph painting a little bit, and then like just watching like old movies, which is not a big it's not a big enough gaze, you know, when the world is so big and vast and does have beautiful wonders to um it does have beautiful wonders if you so desire to go seek it. And I feel like a lot of how you seek it is by immersing yourself in the world. And so to kind of live in this kind of paradigm shift of being like, everybody go home and stay inside and don't be around loved ones like at all, you know, I think that that is like crazy. So again, I really don't know how people who are in domestic violent relationships are dealing with it. And for anybody who's watching, there will be contact information for hotlines that, you know, supply help for those type of situations and stuff like that, suicide prevention, you know, domestic violence and stuff like that during the quarantine and stuff, because I'm thinking about you guys too, because I really cannot imagine how that's working. So to kind of intersect into how you, I guess in the more nitty gritty, depending on however like nitty gritty you want to get, like how are you and John handling it in the spouts of like places where you guys do feel bored or do feel, you know, just affected by the quarantine?
All right, this is gonna sound like it might sound like a little lame. I've heard it a million times and I believe it. Only bored people get bored because
Mm,
I got this mind, don't shut the fuck up, which is
mhm.
not a good thing during nighttime. Like in the nighttime, it goes. I don't even know how I fall asleep sometimes, but I'm a really like I sleep very lightly. Like any little creak wakes me up. But nothing stops it. So I always have something to say. I always have something to feel. I always have something to think and express it. And John is always receiving of me. John is the opposite of me in the sense that he is mellow.
Mhm.
He could be right here right now. You won't even know it. Like he is like mellow, 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 but he's so fun to be around. Oh, something came up on my screen. I'm sorry. Because because he likes me. So it's really important when you're around with someone that likes you. Like
Yes,
it could be
yes
more
it
fun
is.
than love because I love my mom, but I'm here with the man that I like. I mean, I love him too, but I like him. And I
Yes.
could count it's sad that I feel this way, but I could count in one hand how many people I like.
Mm,
So there's no boredom here. Like we play around with each other and we give each other space because I ain't trying to annoy him and he ain't trying to annoy me because we're so close that I could be like, yo, you fucking annoying me. And we don't want it to go there. So, and if it does go there, then we'll go our separate ways, but we're good. Like
right. It won't.
goes there. We're adults. That's another thing. You know what I mean? Like I'm a grown up. I'm 38. You know that, right?
I thought you were 35, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I'm 38. So I feel like sometimes I have the experience and I have it, I have the experience, even though please, I shouldn't even say that because a lot of 45 and 50 year olds are dumb as hell. But I got the experience with John so much that I know how to work with him. If he needs space, I give it to him. If
Yeah,
I
and
need
you guys
space, I
have
give
had
it
a
to him.
very long relationship because you said you knew him. I know the audience doesn't know that, but you've known him since you were 16.
Since we were 16. So we met when we were 16. I fell in love with him like by the time I was 17. Same thing with him. But we were in high school, so you can imagine. And John was very handsome the way he is now, like fine as hell, 6'4", delicious. He had hair, he had cornrows and all that shit.
Yes.
And all the girls, like he had a lot of girls had crushes on him and he had crushes on them. So it was very, you can imagine, it was nuts
A
because we
lot. The flop.
talking. Do you know talking, right? So we
Yes,
were
yes.
talking for like fucking 5 years. But it was like a roller coaster. We got serious, we broke up a year, 2 years, 3 years, and now we're here. So it took all of
Riding
that
good.
growing.
Riding
We grew
good.
up together. I feel like when you grow up together, it changes everything. Like you become super bonded or you fucking hate each other if it goes the wrong way because I
Yeah.
shouldn't be like, oh, if you've been together with someone for a long time, you bonded. No, because I know couples, sadly enough, that have been together since they was like 15, 14 and they're trash. They're horrible. They shouldn't be together. Like there's mad abuse, mental mainly. But he and I, we care about each other. You know when someone really cares about another person, like the way a normal person would care about their child, it's like that. You really, this is my family.
Yes.
So look, I want to show you this. This is a tincture that Crystal tweeted a while back. Onions, grapefruit, orange, and what else? There's one more thing.
Lemon? Did you say lemon?
Onions. I said onions already? Oh, lemon. Yes, you're
Yes.
right. So I'm supposed to take a spoon, but I don't have a spoon, so I'm gonna take a sip.
Anybody who's listening, we will also add that in the description box down below because it is great to help kind of stop the inflammation that might be happening in your sinus cavity or in your throat and stuff like that. And it really helps knock flu symptoms or acute flu symptoms out. Not saying it's going to help you if something happens, God
Word,
forbid.
it's not preventing anything. It's
Right.
not preventing shit. Excuse me.
Yeah. So
But every time I go outside, like for groceries, my throat itches and my ear itch. And I know it's allergies and shit, but it still like makes me.
Right. It's like, well, what's going on? Yes. Facts. What is going on? Okay. So as the quarantine applies to family trauma and mental agility, like what is your perspective there?
Reach out to someone. If you're alone and you're having trouble, or you're with the people, like, because some people have to be home all the time, but home sometimes is not a good place.
Yeah.
You have no choice but to reach out to someone, that can help you. Because I can't imagine, like, for example, if I was young and this was happening and I had to be in my house that I grew up in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you have a teacher, if you have someone that you're engaging with, you know how the kids are going to school online now?
Yeah.
They're engaging online still. Reach out to your teacher, like express the fact that you're not in a safe place and move on from there. Because honestly, I have no clue how people are dealing with those, like you said, like people with have mental disabilities or things like that. I have no, like, how are some people getting by in this time where everyone is selfish and isolated? You know what I mean? I really don't know, except reach out and try to speak to someone, anyone, even go on Twitter. There's so many resources now.
That is true.
And meals too, because not everybody has a meal, but the schools in New York are open from 7 to 1:30, giving out free lunch.
And I think that's amazing. I do think that is amazing. As far as it applies to like family traumas and those who might be in a circumstance that doesn't reflect love, and it's very hard to kind of foster that sense of unity in the home and stuff because there is abuse or like just lack of communication for whatever reason, I definitely recommend reaching out. But I've also been in a position where reaching out is sometimes not enough because you're reaching out to people who kind of give you false promises of what it is that they can leverage for you because they have other people to help as well, like themselves and their family, their
Exactly.
dynamic and stuff like that. So it's kind of easier said than done. And I don't really know what the complete answer is for those who might be dealing with a situation like that moving forward. And so my heart really extends to those who might be experiencing that, especially if you're dealing with people, because like you said, you can count on your hand how many people you like. And for all of us, I'm pretty sure we could say the same. Like there's a few people that we like, and in that same crossover we do love, so we can coexist with them, but that doesn't mean that the opportunity may present itself, because this is such a sensitive and delicate time and fragile time depending on who's in your family. So like if my friend is going through a situation where there's abuse or something in the home, I can't just say, come to my house, because I have an elder in my house who might have a compromised immune system. So this is one of those situations where it's not like you can come entirely like outstretch yourself unless you have the means and the property and whatever other things you would need to kind of facilitate that kind of real nurturing support. Which
you
again,
just hope that people got the inner strength. You know what I mean? Like you just hope that the people have like the inner strength.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's all you got is you. Even if you're at home in a situation with 5 people, but you don't like any of them, all you got is you.
And if any of you guys who are listening have suggestions on how you're dealing with I guess stress in the home while the stress of dealing with the quarantine, please let us know. Would love to know, especially if you have like an overwhelming amount of siblings and that is overwhelming you, or if you and your mom or your dad don't get along, how you're dealing with, maybe being in a relationship that you're really unsure of, and you and your partner are having like quarrels and stuff. Like, how are you managing, and what do you plan to do in the event that things are too much for you? Like, who are you going to reach out to, and what are your recommendations to other people? Because I can't really speak too much to the defense of that because I'm not dealing with that situation, but I do want to kind of have that conversation, and provide like a pillar for other people to kind of look to for wise counsel based on other people's suggestions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can give you a bunch of information that I've seen on Twitter, like numbers. I mean, because we're supposed to be quarantined, so we can only get on the phone. And that sucks sometimes because you need like human contact. You need someone to hug you. And this is the whack part of it all, that I know that from experience, that sometimes you ain't got shit but yourself and you just have to like reach within. And that's where the strength comes. And some people don't got that strength. And I know that, but I'm so thankful that I had that strength. You know what I mean? That you got to reach within, say your prayers, talk your energy, talk to yourself. I used to talk to myself in the future, like as a kid, as an adult now. I talk to myself with like white hair. And my white hair me, like 80-year-old me talks to me now. And she's like,
Yeah.
everything's gonna be okay when I'm sad, when I'm crying, when I'm heartbroken over mom stuff or blah, 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 when I'm having bad memories. She talks to me, she's like, everything's gonna be okay. I know you could cry. And I believe that. Like I believe that. So I set myself up for that, for tomorrow Isabel to be helping today Isabel in trouble. Like that's how that's how badly that's how aware I am that I got me. I have to have me. You know what I mean? So I know that may sound, and I'm gonna look at my webcam right now because I want to talk to the people directly. Sorry. Sometimes that's all we got. Like you could be in a shitty ass home, but it's not enough for the cops or people to get involved or people to even give a fuck. And you got to turn into yourself. You got to be strong for yourself and survive that shit to get the fuck out of there. And one of my major factors was saving. I've been a penny pincher my whole life. Like I don't even know. Like I wasn't like I didn't grow up with money and things like that, but I don't even know if that's why I'm like this. I'm just like this. I'm just a penny pincher. So now, like, I don't have a job at the moment. I'm struggling to find my job. And I need to tell you, I've been going on interviews. Okay, we got to come to the interviews in a minute, but try your best to, like, right now you could be home and you could be OD shopping. Don't.
Yeah.
Like, I'm regretful for buying this shit, but I needed this so badly. Like I needed to talk to someone. I needed to talk to you. I wanted to go live. I wanted to talk to my community so badly because all over Twitter, all the people that I love, they're saying that. They're saying, if you have a community out there, reach out to them. Like get on live, talk to them, make sure they're right, make sure they're okay, make sure they know that you at least stay on the other end. So that's why I wanted to get on here. So I spent money on this shit. By the way, it was $179 with the webcam.
Wow.
So the combo was $179. I'm
it's
like,
never a problem to invest in yourself, though. I will say that.
Yeah, but at these times when I don't got a job, like there's no stream coming in, so I feel like I shouldn't be bleeding out. But I am investing in myself, and I gotta keep the faith. But I'm trying. Like I'm like, brands, holler at me, son. Like I love peanuts. I be telling like planters, I'm like, I could be your girl. Like didn't the planters, Mr. Peanut just die? Anyway, you gotta go within yourself. Like I know it ain't easy, especially if you're suffering mentally, but sometimes literally like we only have ourselves. That's sad, right? That's really sad, but it's true.
It is. And I just pray that those who are feeling like that don't succumb to what it is to be so self-sufficient that you don't make room to be compassionate, to allow love in so that you can continue to heal, because you can't, it's weird, but you can't heal by yourself. You think that you can for a long time and you think you're healing until you realize that pinnacle, you can't break that glass ceiling of your healing until you intertwine yourself with other beings who are on the same journey as you, and you guys have to exchange and stuff like that. Yeah.
You're right about that, because I think I'm mad hardened, and I don't like, if I see bright lights, I love them. I go to them. I love them. We exchange light. But if I see a person and do one little thing wrong, like one shady shit, one dumb shit, one ignorant shit, I don't give them a break. I'm like, okay. And I go and I keep it pushing. And that's whack, because that person, I could give them a chance to grow and be my friend or something. But instead, I don't got friends like that. I shouldn't say that, because I have like 3 friends, including my husband. And I think that's a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be out here in a club with 20 people in the VIP section. I got friends that I could lean on, that I could go to their house right now with the coronavirus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like I'm stunted because I've been hardened. Like I'm fucking hardened. I don't let anyone slide. You know how sometimes you got that best friend that she's kind of a chicken head, like, but you love her.
Yeah.
But I feel so hardened that I'm like, no. No, chicken heads allowed or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's stupid in the sense. But it is my struggle. Like I've had siblings play me, like hurt me, and people, and I'm not like a victim or anything, because I'm not perfect either. I've done shit myself, but I'm just hardened. I'm hardened. I don't trust nobody. I don't trust nobody until they've earned that trust. That shit doesn't, I don't give it away. And then you come in my life and fuck me over. I have to be able to trust you. But then again, it's because I know that people are fucking grimy. Like I know that people are evil out there running this world, running America right now. Like our administration and shit. And so I'm like, I'll keep it safe. And no one even comes to my house.
We can't escape that though.
Like I don't even let people here. And that's why I don't have Instagram, because I feel like if I have Instagram on my phone, then you in my house. And I don't want you here. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like I look at that and I see, oh, Trump did some dumb shit. Trump is now in my house. No, get out of my house. No. So I uninstall Instagram. I just, like I told you, I reinstalled it to let my community know that I posted a video or something. But
right, and then
I would like to grow. Like I need to work on being like a little like nicer and kinder to people and giving them, like, I guess, the benefit of the doubt.
I wouldn't say that. I would say that you can stand by your boundaries if it's uncomfortable for you when people infringe upon what it is that makes you uncomfortable. But I would suggest to you to, or anybody who's listening, to maybe spectate a little bit more on why someone is maneuvering in the way that they do, because, or in that particular situation. Because I find for myself, especially with, you know, the nature of the last like big story time that I did and stuff like that, a lot of people don't understand why things happen in the way that they did. And that's because obviously a lot of contextual value is missing from, you know, the conversation piece that I put out, because I was just scaling the audience to see how far can I go, how much can I say, how much can I share, because at the end of the day we're all sensitive beings. Even the most evil person, I always, my theory for the last like maybe couple of months is that an evil being is the empath gone wrong. Like, this is somebody whose boundaries have been stampeded on for the very last time, to the point where their consciousness is succumbed by selfishness, iniquity, frustration, fragility, and loneliness. Loneliness.
You know, I feel you. Because I think I could easily be a villain. Like I the other day, like not even today.
We all can.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh, I think
I was just saying we all can.
Yeah, right. Like, because I was, you know, like, let's say they were giving out superpowers, I wouldn't get one because I think I'll use it and I'll become a villain. Because when people do like foul shit, I think I have so much negative energy that I could hurt them. You know what I mean? Like, I told you this, and I know it's gonna sound foul, and I hope, please, I don't want to offend anyone watching this right now. But the other day I was in Rite Aid, and I was feeling like everything you're saying. I was feeling loneliness. I was feeling because of my mom, and I was thinking of her, and I had so much anger flowing through my body. I called my friend crying right before going to see my other friend's newborn because I didn't want to take that in the house. And I was like, yo, I have mad anger. I can't help it. It's coming out. Like, it's forcing itself out of me. Rite Aid's line be like 50 deep. Rite Aid's line is absurd. So I'm in line, I'm next, and this woman passes me without saying shit to me. Just excuse me. That's all she says, excuse me. And she jumps me in line. She like cuts me off and goes right there to the register. And I'm like, Wusa. And then I look and she's pregnant, like fully pregnant, like 12 months. And I think to myself, this fucking bitch, like she's pregnant, but you pregnant, but you don't got manners. You don't got any decency. You just gonna jump me like that. You could ask me. I would let 20 pregnant women go in front of me. Of course you ain't trying to stand on this line, but don't just do it like that. Don't just, we all fucking waiting here. Just because you're pregnant don't mean you gotta be fucking rude. Like, say, excuse me, miss, do you mind? I'm like, of course not, please. Let me hold your fucking bags. You know what I mean? And then I had to calm myself because I'm like, oh my God, this energy that I have is going to this child in her belly. And I had to chill out. And that's how I know that I could easily be a villain. My guy, when people are like raising prices, the where I went to buy produce today, like I told you, the bananas the other day, they were $4 for $1. Now they're $3 for $1. I'm like, why? Because people are beasting. Fucking asshole. You know, people are not working right now. You know, I don't got a job right now. You don't give a fuck if I eat. You don't care about me. And I started feeling it. And I was like, oh my God, if I could, I'll take his car and throw it on the roof. You know what I mean? Like, I know that I could be a villain is what I'm saying. So I agree with you.
We all, but here's the thing, and I remember, obviously our audience can see this and stuff like that, but yesterday we had a great discussion yesterday, but
yeah, yesterday was our practice run. Yeah, we've been hustling for 3 days to do this. So thank you for joining.
Yes. As far as you were saying about carrying a lot of shame in the midst of, you know, the quarantine, and then like family traumas, and like how it affects your mental state, and like what it kind of like draws out of you and stuff like that. And I didn't get an opportunity to say yet, but I will say, the other day when I was in the kitchen, I overheard my grandpa say that a lot of people are hiding from themselves in the midst of this quarantine. And whether that's for good reason or not, I only mean that to say that at any given moment, we can all become a villain, because none of us are.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got to get the door. So answer questions. Hi, everybody. Thank you for waiting. If you have questions for me, I'll be right back.
Okay. Do you want me to bring up the questions now?
Like, no, you could just answer questions if someone is like asking in the, I'm sorry, I got to get dinner.
All right, let's go to questions. Hopefully this did not stop. Dang, this is a lot. Hi, guys. I'm looking at your questions right now, guys. So if I'm not saying anything, don't be mad because I'm obviously looking at the questions. My boyfriend is bringing, so Stay Flow said, my boyfriend is bringing his friends over because we have an in-home studio and his company doesn't even wash their hands upon entering. Dang, I feel sorry for you and that situation because I know that that is extremely frustrating. And I don't know if you have had to go. I mean, it's a given that people should be washing their hands. So I can understand the frustration if everyone is supposed to be clued in into the idea of like, okay, wash your hands. And then these niggas is not. It's like, what y'all doing? What y'all doing? Let's see.
Somebody says Peppermint Patty says she has to be a Taurus. You think they're talking about you or me?
I'm not sure. I mean, I am an Earth sign, but I'm not a Taurus. So
I'm
maybe
a
they
Leo.
mean you're a Leo?
Yeah, but the next day you're a Virgo. So I don't know if that means anything.
Does that mean you're on the cusp?
I guess so. I never felt like Leo because Leo is supposed to be like roar and wears a crown. I'm like ashamed. Like sometimes I just feel like, I don't know, like I don't want to be too cute. I don't know.
No, actually,
Smart, you know?
the Leo, it's weird. A lot of people say that Leos are self-absorbed and Leos are like this and that, like all things pertaining to being self-absorbed, but they're actually not. They're actually some of the very nicest people and most considerate people that I know. And they're extremely passionate and they're low-key, not to say this about you, but they deal with a lot of insecurity. And a lot of the reason that they deal with insecurity is because a lot of them come from traumatic family environments, a lot of time, or the ones that I know. And so for them, they're not really masking like this inner fake confidence. They're just confident because they pull from a lot of inner strength. And if you're a weak person, you're not going to be able to handle that kind of personality. And if you don't take enough time to spectate that person, because I used to feel like I couldn't be friends with Leos too because I thought that they were grandiose in their presentation, but they're actually not. It's a lot of warmth, it's a lot of love, and it's a lot of passion. And if you don't spectate it enough to figure out how to navigate that space with them, and that's the thing about being around different personalities and different people and coming across different situations, is we're all here to grow. We're all here to grow. So no one person is better because you pride yourself on making better choices and stuff like that. Like everything, back to what Tiana Empower said, hey Tiana, if you're watching this, girl, everything is about equity. Every single fabric of your life is about equity. And some people have a better footing to be decent human beings than other of us. And that's where I wanted to connect what you were saying about family traumas, or just me and you both can share because we both have family traumas, and the guilt and the shame that is like swelling your head around that. Huh?
I told Johnny's food is here. Sorry.
Okay, no, it's okay. The guilt and the shame that's surrounding that, and what makes it hard for some people to kind of again break through that glass ceiling, because some people have too much of it waiting on them, that it does turn them more villainous. It does make them more angry and more aggressive and more just like, bitch, what's happening, you know? Mm-hmm. And I understand that perspective, especially because of the nature of the relationship, of the nature of the relationship that I was in before dating Stefan, because the person that I was dating was very violent. You know, he would flare up into like just anger very easily over very minute and myopic things. And towards the ending of a relationship, quite obviously I was, you know, dealing with a lot of PTSD in the midst of it and stuff like that, because of how he was like warping my brain and stuff. But I started to spectate, and I got that advice from, oh my God, I think his name is Dion. I cannot exactly remember, but I will add his information in the description box down below. He called me one day and he was like, look, I feel like you're struggling and I just want to, you know, reach out and give you some advice. And he said, this is what you do in a situation like the one that you're in, you know? And I hope that this provides any insight or like a pillar of like wise counsel for anybody who might be dealing with this situation. But sometimes you need to watch somebody do whatever malevolent, you know, self-minded foolishness that they're doing, and really spectate why their course of action is happening in that way, to really make sure that definitively you're figuring out a solution-based way to maneuver yourself out of that situation. Hold on, because Steph is coming inside. Hey, babe. What is that?
Go wash your hands, Stefan. How are you?
Good, and yourself?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
I got mad shit.
You got mad stuff? Okay, sorry. I don't. You guys are gonna have to see him because that's my front door. Like that's just what it is. Like that's just what it is. He's gonna wash his hands when he finally like settles in and stuff. But sorry. Let me drink some water.
But you're making a good point because you impress me the way that John does. Like John is like you. Like why is she like that? Like why is she over here punching people in the face, trying to rack up all the toilet paper? That's how John is. John wants to get to the core of things, and he'll sit down and talk to you and get in. Like I think that man was meant to be a psychotherapist or something. Um, I'm impressed by that, but I don't. You know, I admire it. That's what I offer to it. It's like I would like to be that kind of person. And sometimes I sit down with John, and I'm like, how are you like you? Like, give me advice to be more conscious of this person's history and what made them them. But I just think deep down inside, I'm me. And I don't know if I got that in me because in my mind, in my heart, there's two kids growing up in this situation, in this bad home, in this terrorizing home. One of them goes left, the other one goes right. I don't know why that happens, but I feel like at the core we should all be at least decent. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like there should be like a level of decency there where I'm not gonna fucking try to like raise prices so that this family could go hungry because they're not even working at the moment and everything's shut down and they didn't save up because they don't have the capabilities to save up and now they gotta fucking starve because I raised prices or now they don't gotta have toilet paper to wipe their ass because I had to take all of them. Like be fucking decent. Like I don't understand it. And
well,
you're impressive. Like I told you the other day when we talked about Vanessa Hudgens and you saw it in a whole different light and you was like, I understand that she's angry. And I'm like, damn, like that's like a John answer, like where you look into someone much deeper than what they're saying. But
well,
me, I'm like that, like she's fucking stupid for saying that. Like that's
say
real
that
wild.
you say that now because of a lot. It's such a intersectional conversation because it ties into so many things that I do want to be able to get to the question. So I am going to say this real quick. All of those who are decent people, right? We're decent because we choose to be. And I need to emphasize I hope this is the right word, but the pragmaticness of choice. Like we sometimes we're in situations and we don't understand how important our choices are in that moment because everything that we do can severely affect the trajectory of where we're trying to go. So I don't think that anybody who is bad or who is evil by a love. They are evil by a way of choice and just whatever they are by a way of choice. But again, if that equity is not there because they had so many other traumas that just how do I explain it? Let me start over. When you grow up in an environment that does not nurture you as a person, as an individual, and doesn't speak life into you, right? And you grow up in something that is the anti of that, you're already dealing with a complex that, depending on what you believe on, is not supposed to be what's spoken over your life. The reason for life is for living, it's not for like being a living dead person. But when you're born into a traumatic, environment and stuff like that, where you're seeing lots of like different things that are warping your mind into feeling like, well, this is normative, seeing someone like, being an alcoholic or being abusive or like just being nasty or just being a gaslighter, you're going to start to think that that is normative. And some people take that on and become what it is because it's a narrative that is so normal for them that they can't like excommunicate themselves from it. And those of us who do make that definitive separation, it's only by a matter of choice. But those who do not make the choice to become more decent minded people, it's only because a part of you starts to internalize it so much that you start to think that you are what it is that your environment reflects. And that's why for me it's so much easier to spectate people who do and or have odd behaviors, because I know a lot of people like that. For instance, my mother, which is a conversation for another day, because me and her, honestly, we haven't spoken in probably in the last week, like legitimately. She doesn't text. We don't have that kind of relationship, but I would admittedly say that we are in a better, space, but it's a better space for us. Whereas for you, the better space for you and your mom is that you guys do text, but you do want to latch to her because there was a familiarity when you were young. Whereas for me, I don't have that at all. So my support and like my love and my like pillar for like wise counsel or just love and support is Stefan completely and solely because he is a sound-minded person who is compassionate, who is making good choices, and who is trying, But there are some people, and this is what we were talking about as far as the Vanessa Hudgens things that we didn't get to explore in this conversation, but I'm sure when we come back, we will, as time progresses. There's arrested development for a lot of us, and as much as we think us decent people might think that we are compassionate or better people than those who might cut in line while being pregnant and just assuming that they can cut in line, the reason that we're able to perceive things in that way is because we're literally making the better choices. But some people, their minds don't think like that. Their better choices are reflective just themselves. They don't understand compassion. They don't understand that vulnerability, that openness, because they're so hurt, they're so hardened, and me and you are on a particular level. Me and you deal with the same things, like we're dealing with the same level of hardness, the same level of, at times we could, something could turn us into that villain, but we actively choose against it. Like, you can walk me back through that situation where that pregnant lady, skipped in front of you, but there's something that definitively made you choose not to black on her.
Because I'm decent. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like at the core, I don't say I'm better than that, but I got a decency in me that is who I am. That makes it, you know what I mean? Like that, no matter how angry or furious I get, I'm not gonna like be vile to another human being. I have compassion for human life, for life, period. You know what I mean? And all right, this is a really traumatic shit, like hard, like this is really hard to watch on Netflix and I haven't seen it. And I feel like if you share your story and it's horrible, I feel like you have a right to share your story and have the world see it. But I will admit it that I know my limits and I haven't seen it, but I read about it. Have you heard about it's called the documentary or the trials? Thank you, Lova. The trials of Gabriel Fernandez.
See, I can't. And from the last time that I tuned into something like that, which was Nick's Mary Brown, I can't remember her name exactly, but I think it was that girl from the Bronx from like maybe I was in elementary school. I cannot tune into that childhood, it's terrible. It's terrible, but I relate though.
I just don't get it. Like I went on this whole like obsession of Googling why do people torture other people? Because the truth is I just don't know. I don't understand it. And I just got to make peace with that, with the fact that I'm never going to understand it. I'm never going to understand it. And sure, that's a whole nother level of being a monster, torturing a child just because, like, who knows why, just because that's who you are. I just can't make excuses or have that thing that you and John have. Like, why are you like this? What's the deeper meaning? What's happened to you? What's happened to your spirit? Because this is quote that I saw the other day that I love. You're not a body, you have a body. You're a spirit. Have you heard it? Like, it's like you're not a body, you have a body. You're a spirit. Like you're a spirit.
But it applies right now as your
exactly that. And I don't know. I just can't run from it. And I just deal with myself. And you know how maybe that's why the anger boils inside of me, because I don't react on my anger. I don't react on it. You know what I mean? And I've been dying to like hit something and scream. And I just don't know how to do it or where to do it, but I do think that people are just not decent. And I don't think I'm better than them in any way. But I mean, because I don't have that I'm better than you mentality. I never did. But it's just like you're foul and you're like, for example, since we were talking about Vanessa Hudgens, she was saying that people are going to die and it's inevitable. Like, so who cares? And that shit was so whack to me. I'm like, yo, you don't have compassion for human life. It's not inevitable. I mean, we're all going to die if that's what she meant. I don't think that's what she meant. She meant like
implied that people are going to die.
Like, and she's like, and it's horrible. And the way she said it, was so careless. It was pure callousness.
Yeah.
And why? Because what happened to you to make you this way? To make you not care for your neighbor, your brother, the next person, the seniors out there. Like, what's so important? What's so important? You that bored? You have to go to this dumbass party? You can't just stay home for a while? Like, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. Like, you and John have that compassion and that need to dig deeper. I don't got it, and I don't judge. I just stay away. and make sure that my loved ones are nowhere near you.
Can you grow? And I'm asking from a very good natured place because
Nah,
I
you're
know it's
right. You're
hard.
right. I don't know. Like I try. Like I told you, I sit with John and I'd be like, yo, like I would like to be like you. Like, how do you go deeper? How do you like? And also, there's something within him that he's carefree. You know what I mean? Like if someone in my family that I care about, that I'm still connected with, is doing dumb shit, it really bothers me. If another person, if someone in his life that he cares about is doing dumb shit, it doesn't really bother him. He says, this is that person, this is the choices they're making, this is who they are. I know that. I'm not going to terrorize myself by letting it upset me. It goes deep, it goes all the way in my core.
But
And I'm black and white in that way. Like I can't fuck with you or you have to change.
I think
But
that
he's good. He's much more compassionate, and you're right. I'm gonna be stunted, and like I told you, remember I told you I'm stunted, and I'm aware of that. I just
don't
don't.
speak that over your life. You're stunted right now because you're not. And this is what I was gonna say to you like yesterday. I think that for you, when you see people acting indecent, it really rubs you a wrong way because it reminds you of the hardships that you faced growing up when
See,
people infringed on your personal boundaries that you could not speak to or attest to because you probably couldn't articulate it because you were a young girl, you know? And that's the problem with all of us. Here's the thing, our boundaries are changing all the time as people. We're always growing and we're always evolving. And the thing that you might feel that is different between, you know, me and you, or like yourself and John, that me and Steph might have different as well, is the fact that for us, for people like me and John, so to speak, we let things kind of flow through us to have a better understanding. So for me, it's almost like I can jump into your shoes, so to speak, and understand what it is that took you over the edge to choose that lifestyle and still resort to like what it is that's my core values. Whereas for you, you might have struggles in being able to look at somebody who is struggling with arrested development, because that's truly what it is. Anybody who's moving, because I think for you to be an indecent human being in these very civilized modern times is just you going against yourself and against the community at large, whatever community you may belong to. But you obviously, whoever is like afflicted by that mental state obviously does not realize that, and so for them, they are suffering from arrested development, and you're looking at it as like, so you don't want to grow, you just, this is what you're going to be all your life, you just don't think of a better way. Like obviously me and you went through the same thing, but you're not gonna make any changes. And some people, they don't think that they can make those changes because they think they're so tainted on the inside. They think it's inevitable. They like, I don't know if you ever watched the BoJack Horseman show, but there's this great line that BoJack says, and I know I'm gonna fuck up the quote a little bit, but
I saw a trippy ass episode of BoJack. That shit was hilarious.
the
Like
one
he took drugs, and that shit was like the
where
cartoon BoJack on Netflix, right?
yes,
He took like some kind of acid, and he was on a trip, and that shit had me and John in tears. We were like dying. That's the only episode I've ever seen.
oh, you should actually watch that series. I feel like it would help you a lot, especially towards the last season. It's very, depending on how you feel, it's a very beautiful season and a very like tragic comic way. But basically, at some point in the series, BoJack says something like, you know, sometimes I feel like I was born with a hole in me, and every good thing that ever was me leaked out. And the first time that I ever felt like that myself was being in the relationship that I was in, obviously previous to Stefan, because I felt like this person was really trying to berate any and every good thing that existed in me out, and trying to make me join, you know, this army of like those who move in the underground silence of just badness. And I know it sounds crazy, but that's something that I'm gonna have to elaborate, you know, some other time and stuff like that. But basically it was just like real crazy spiritual warfare. And like you said, all of us are like practically spiritual. We're soulful, we feel things. And this person was really interrupting my motherfucking chi. And it was almost like they were corrupting me so much that I was getting to a point where I thought I was consuming who this person was and embodying it myself. And that's truly what happens to, I know it's cringy. It's cringy to think about, but truly, like there would be times, and this is like, you know, TMI, and I hope no one truly attacks me for this because obviously there's not enough contextual information. I feel like I need to say that because of the last video that I put out.
You sound like a disclaimer. You're a human disclaimer.
Yes.
Just be free, man. If people attack you, they attacking themselves because you don't got to read it.
There were times where he would like there will be times where I'm in the shower and randomly, and obviously the blood of Jesus over this now, but like I just be thinking about the devil, like mad randomly. And obviously that doesn't, just saying it like that, or if someone just saw that and just tuned into this part of the conversation, you're gonna be spooked out, because like nobody wants to entertain that. But here's the thing, there are two forces here. There's good and evil. Like that's just what it is, you know? And people literally choose, you know, incrementally where they want to belong. But all of us are subject at any given moment to become evil. And when you have somebody in your atmosphere who's reflecting all this badness, all this evil, all this iniquity, all this, you know, all these things, and let me just clear that out. I didn't mean to like project it onto you or my audience. Then at some point, you're going to start to internalize that, and you're going to feel like you very well might become that person, or might feel like you're going to start to transform, and it happens on the inside. It's the same way that when you're someone who's light and you drop a seed in other people's like plant, you know, and you're just like, I love your makeup today, or I love, you know, it you see, it brings a smile, you know. But if someone is doing the adverse of what that is, and you get that all the time, all day, every
That shit
day,
sounds so intense, Sade. I wish you could like let me know everything. Like just say
oh,
it.
I will.
Because I'm like you, and by the way, usually like there's certain words I don't even say, and there's like sometimes it's the title of a movie because I just don't allow certain things in here.
Yeah.
But there's also some things like I just don't believe in. You know what I mean? Like I believe in good and bad because I've seen bad, but I've chosen and it worked because I was able to believe it so deeply that God is within, like all of us. And there are bad people out there that they can't hear the goodness because of whatever reason.
Yes.
But I literally believe that it's like, you know how Beyonce has in her music video, she says something like she had to put up something like I'm not God, I know God is God. Like just to make it clear. But like she needed to make it clear because you know how people go.
Because you know people will go crazy.
I feel like each of one of us, like I feel the spirit inside of me. And when I'm at my highest is when I bow down to it, when I bow down to the goodness, and I'm like, fuck the abuse, fuck the bad trauma, fuck the pain. I am God, like God is within me, and I can move in that way and be good to others and be good to myself and stand in my kingdom and stand in my light, or, you know, whatever, wear my crown and live my purpose on earth, live the human experience as best as I can with compassion for my, you know, earthlings, my peers. But like you never have to worry about being like, oh, I put that energy on you, because this is a light right here, and it's strong as hell.
because and it's because you literally, and that's the thing about being a decent human being. All of us are decent by a way of literally making the choice. And when I say we hear like making the choice, and it's crazy because it's like we don't understand how subverse choice is. Choice is literally incremental. It's like every fabric of what you do that makes up what's going to affect your world definitively from that point moving forward once you make that choice. And so for that same reason, because you declare peace in your heart and goodness and godliness in your heart every day, despite what you've been through, of course that is gonna rise. Of course that's gonna, you know, self-assure you and stuff like that. But for those who are fighting their demons every day and they don't,
I can't imagine it. That's why I want to know more about what you're talking about, because I'm like, yo, like, don't be afraid to speak to me. Don't think that I'm
I'm not
hear it. Like, I'm not gonna be afraid to hear it, because I'm gonna help you combat all that bullshit and flush it out and spit on it and kick it and set it on fire, flush it down the damn thing. Because that's wild that someone has you, and that's my trigger. Like dudes that are fucking controlling women. That's my trigger, because that was the issue. That was the core issue, and that's been the issue around me, and I fucking hate it. But I really want to know more about that, and I'm sorry that you went through that. That sounds wild to me.
It really does. Wild. I was just telling Steph the other day, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say, because I have to legitimately do like a separate like in-depth video for that, because there's so much like context that provides to like the trajectory of like everything that happened in the like, I guess that little like mini episodic breakdown of like, oh, what's been going on in my shitty life for these last couple months and stuff like that, because a lot of it stems from right there, and obviously family traumas, and then obviously like interpersonal things and perceptions that I had not grown out of, because it had hardened me so much that I had started to become selfish. And like I said, I started to I started to think what my environment was. I started to feel like what my environment was, which was not a reflection of who I usually had chose to be, but I didn't feel no way out. I was so boxed in. But yeah, contextual information provided later. There was something I was going to say, but I totally forgot. That aside, I do want to get into the questions and stuff like that and kind
Okay.
of like comments. So if you're seeing the questions, let me know what you're seeing. I love you guys. You guys are
Oh,
so
someone said, can this be bi-weekly? I'm down if you down, boo. I love this.
oh, you
This
said
is the best
bi-weekly.
thing I've ever done with my social media and my YouTube. Like, this is everything. I
Same,
love it.
same.
Let's see. That's what, who was that? That was, um, that was Haida or Hidia S or Haida S. And I'm down. So hopefully she says yes. Let's see what else.
Oh, me, girl, yes. Bi-weekly, yes.
I think that's more structural.
Someone said it is a choice. Oh, let me not say someone, excuse me. The Kristen Beatles. I hope, girl, if I'm butchering y'all names, please forgive me, please. But somebody said it's definitely a choice, but it's interesting to think about why some people never seem to stand up and make the right choice to simply be decent. And I understand that perspective. It's not that easy for some people to make decent decisions when you okay, babe?
That's
It's
scary. That is not decent. I mean, that is not easy. I feel
it,
like it's so easy to be decent. Like, really.
because your circumstance reflects an easier lifestyle. You're dealing with love all the time. You and John, and imagine if you did not know John and it was you and your mom right now. Would it be so easy for you to have acted that way with the pregnant lady? I mean, obviously, I know that there's a part of you that is self-assured because you're drawing from interpersonal strength, but some people don't even think like that because the trauma is so deep.
I
So
just don't want to hurt anyone. Like, when I think decent, I think hurting. Like, I don't mean on a petty level or dumb shit,
yeah,
or like that woman that skipped me in line that she didn't. This is nothing. That's on the surface. I mean deep shit. Like, deep shit. I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't. I don't want to hurt anyone. And that's what I try to avoid.
yeah.
That's it. But let's see.
As you should though. Like nobody should be around anybody that wants to hurt them. Like that's
Right? Like,
something. Do you want to read up another question?
it's a lot of comments, like just engagement, no question. I'm trying to find questions. I'm
Yeah,
looking for
same.
question marks.
I think there's supposed to be a part that we're supposed to enable that allows for questions, particularly. Hopefully, we figure out how to incorporate that at some point so that the comments and the questions are not like, creating confusion.
um
Yes, Nisha, her name is Isabel on YouTube. Look up my sis. I've been telling y'all about her for like a good year and a half or so. Please, yes, tune in, go subscribe. Amazing content. Watch the vlogs because the vlogs are amazing. 100%. Watch the styling videos. They're amazing. Watch everything. Go ahead and watch everything.
that is so cute. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, wait, that was the same girl. The Christine or Kristen Beatles. How can you help people who don't want to heal? I feel like you're the light and I'm the so let me just, I don't mind being the but
cool.
that's your business. You don't want to heal, see ya. Like, I'm it took me, I survived. I'm here and I'm not gonna let anybody fuck with that. And I'm sorry for you, but if you don't want to heal, then you are having a good time in this shit that you've created and this shit that's happening to you. And it's none of my business unless it's like a child being harmed or something that I need to step in. I won't. Like for example, someone doesn't want to heal the fact that I don't even want to, there's certain things I don't want to say, but if someone does not want to heal, you have to respect that, pretty much. Like, just put yourself in that position and move away. Tell yourself, okay, this person doesn't want to heal. Am I going to be here wasting time, or am I going to keep it pushing? I keep it pushing because that's all I know. But go ahead, give your enlightened answer.
I think
Because wanting is huge. Like, wanting is the force behind things.
Absolutely. You're not going to be able to, we're not supernatural beings who can do supernatural things,
Mm-hmm.
So if anything, the best advice that I have for that, and I know that this is going to sound new coming from my mouth because you guys know I've taken lots of different approaches to spirituality and all this different type of stuff. And I know and again, like, there's going to be a contextual video that provides for like why I feel this way now at this time in my life, but pray for that person. Real talk, really, meditate and pray for that person. Pray that God is able to move their spirit in a way where they can be unhinged from the things that make them the way that they are, so that they can evolve as human beings and become more compassionate and in tune with their environment. Because a lot of why people who choose, because I actually got into an argument with my mom literally like 2 weeks right before my grandma died, where she literally screamed. It was all of us in the living room, and she was like, Sade, some people don't want to fucking heal. And that was the first time I ever like anybody, that was the first time I ever been in a situation where somebody said something so definitive about like the anti of what they would want, like, you know, like people, you speak over your life all the time. You can look in the mirror and say like, I'm a beautiful person, I'm this, I want to be this, I want to be that. But she definitively said like, I don't want to heal, which means she's capping her own growth, because she doesn't believe. And the reason that anybody would say something like that is because they don't believe that they can grow. They don't believe that they can heal past the iniquity that, you know, or transgressions that, you know, have been usually like forced upon them, that they now internalize and become, you know. And so for someone like me, like there was a time, and I feel like this would probably be a good example, but there used to be a time where I used to speak over my womb, and I used to say, I don't want kids. I don't want kids. Like, I don't want kids.
I
Like,
used to say that too.
yeah, because I was so hurt, because my first boyfriend cheated on me mad times, literally gave me chlamydia twice. Like he put my mind in a mental warp. And from that, I could have turned
How
into,
old were you, if you don't mind me asking?
I was 14. I was 14 when that happened.
I'm about to disappear. I'm gonna evaporate from this screen right now. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I done been through the trenches. I have so many life stories, y'all would not even believe it. But
that, I'm glad you said that, because the other girl I know that was with a bum ass 14, and it was like they were fucking married, and I'm over here playing with my dolls and jumping rope and shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? I was always grossed out by that relationship. But anyway.
But I think that's also because of the reflection of the things that you were watching happening in your home. And that's the thing too. That's why, like, everything interconnects, literally everything. Everything of why everybody does everything that they do is a reflection of their own reality and why they choose the things that they do. And that's why when I meet good people, people like you and stuff like that, and we're fostering community, I feel like it's such a beautiful thing, because I don't know a lot of people who haven't been through a lot of shit. And for the most part, not to say that I won't be friends with you if you haven't been through a lot of shit, but you're not going to understand me if you haven't been through some shit, you know? And I'm okay if we disagree in the midst of us, like, you know, not just me and you, but just like anybody. Like, if we're not seeing eye to eye, I understand. For me, it's easier to understand and not be dismissive of that person, because I know that me and you might not have experienced the same things. And at some point you might get my perspective later on in life, and I might get yours later on in life, you know? I'm not in a rush to have more understanding as to why people do things. I understand that people do them. I understand that people made a choice. And I'm just like, okay, that speaks clear to that speaks volumes as to what it is that you want to do. And as far as what I was saying about my mom, you know, she had declaratively made this statement and stuff like that. And, you know, when she was saying it, it was crazy, because I could see her pain. I could feel her pain when she was saying it, but she's still declaratively saying it in a way that is like a testament to how she feels and her truth at that moment. And I'm not here to alter nobody's truth. That's a you and God thing, you know, or you and universe thing, depending on what it is that you believe in, you know? So all I can do is say, God, please change her heart, undo the fabrics that are making her feel so shameful and guilty and feeling like there's no room for healing, because some people do believe that. And I was getting to that place too, which is why when I talk about everything that happened between me and Steph, it was the same thing. I was in the same place. I was feeling just like my mom. I'm like, I was moving single in something that is supposed to reflect a union, you know, and familyhood is supposed to reflect unionship. But a lot of people don't have that in their family dynamics because of all the pain, or because of the abuse, because of, you know, sexual molesters and all this different type of stuff that we, you know, thank God we live in these modern times where we can explore these conversations, especially as people of color or marginalized people and stuff like that. But 20 odd so years ago, 15 odd so years ago, 10 odd so years ago, we weren't having these kind of conversations on these widespread platforms to really bring enlightenment. So everyone, you know, everyone can shame the shame, you know, like you could be like, oh, that's shameful acts. That's this, that's that, that's this, that's that. But a lot of it comes from a subversive narrative that came from childhood that kind of started to foster more pain and more hurt and more nastiness and more selfishness and more of these things that, depending on who you are, whether you decided to choose to get out of it and choose betterment and choose God and choose whatever just inspires you, some people can't make those choices. And if those people can't make those choices, you pray for them, you meditate on them, whatever your thing is, and plant a seed every day. It don't cost nothing for you to plant a seed, you know. Someone is having a hard time, they're saying things that, you know, don't reflect, you know, the trueness in your heart and the love in your heart. You plant a seed by saying, have a blessed day, or whatever it is that you want to say. And you do it all the time. You don't know the people that you ask for random advice from. You know, you don't know their life story. You don't know what kind of iniquities or transgressions they're going through, but you still speak to them like regular human beings. We don't know you don't know if they, what kinds of things they've done to other people, if they've been nasty or petty, but in that moment, there's a part of them that gleams goodness, you know, and I see that in my mom too, you know, and I saw that in Osaswa too, you know, my ex-boyfriend, like there were parts of him that it was like little speckles of goodness that would come out. So all of him wasn't bad, but a good majority of him was, because he didn't believe that he could be anything besides what he currently was because of what he had been through. And I get it, because we all can make those choices. It's just a matter of whether we choose to or not. And I hope that answered that question, because that was very long-winded. Okay, let's go into them questions again.
Oh, there's a long one here. I'm gonna try it. All right. Child of the Kingdom dash Princess O. Hello. Question. She put like 15 ends. How do you deal with a period of time when your partner is working full time and you're not? Different season, etc. How do you now feel? How do you not feel guilty or feel kind of like a user or just stagnant?
Oh, wow.
Okay, this question was meant for me. So I have a cushion. I've been a penny pincher my whole life, but you can't tell because I'm fly. Because I be going thrifting and I make it look so cute. So I've been a penny pincher forever. You're bringing on my confidence, because I would have not said that if it wasn't for you. Somehow I hide all of that. And okay, one moment, Princess O. My friend Delasia, I went to see her the other day, and she told me, you're not yourself on YouTube. She said, this person, this dope ass person, no one has seen this person. And me and John talked about it, because John used to tell me the same shit. My sister used to tell me the same shit. They teased me about it. But I was like, yo, you don't know what it's like to talk to a camera. I was like, I feel more and more connected to my community, and that helps me. But ultimately, I'm talking to this Welch's can.
Yeah.
So I can't be like funny. I can't, and I'm mad funny. Like I'm full of jokes. But anyway, so I'm not working. I haven't been working for a few months, and it chokes me. Like I'm linked to my monetary worth somehow. I have cushion, so I'm safe. I have a man that can help support me, but he and I have even gotten into this conversation, and my sister kind of intervened, and she's there to help me, soothe me, because I realized that I love him and all that, but ultimately, like, I have something deep inside of me that's like, no, your money's your money. John's money is his money. You have to survive. You have to pay for yourself. If you don't have money, you're going to starve to death. You're going to be homeless. And I battle with that every day. But deep down inside, I've been trying to tell myself, you have John. You don't have to be afraid anymore. It's not just you anymore. Like, let him in. Like, really let that spirit join your spirit. So if you have a partner that's really down for you, that really cares about you, that wants you to eat and wants you to be under a safe roof, let him help you, or her. I'm sorry, I'm not assuming anything. Let him or her help you. I don't know what it is in us that feels so guilty and so horrible for not having, like, for
no, you do.
Sorry?
Know. You do know. That's actually the tea.
But the thing is, like, I don't know, because I have I have all this whack ass trauma from childhood, but for some reason it doesn't feel like it's why I am the way that I am. I just think honestly, I'll be honest with you. I was in shelters as a kid, but my parents, we always ate. We always felt safe. We always felt warm. I mean, not safe because my dad was wild, absurd, and horrible monster, like a human monster. But we had a place to eat. We had a place to sleep. And I was like, I had nice shoes and things like that, like expensive shoes. Like I had the 5411s like all the time. And one time I went to McDonald's and left them there, and I went home and I cried because I left them in McDonald's, and my mom bought me another pair that same day. So I had things, but I don't know why I haven't been able to rely on John or my sister. Like, I have to be the one to feed myself. It's so fucking weird. But
Well,
if you're going through it, then just trust your partner. Like try, it hurts. It hurts somehow. It hurts inside. It's scary. It's weird. It's different, but trust them. Trust them for now. If they got you, they got you. And work at trying to get employment. I've been working at trying to get employment forever. And now with this corona shit, my interviews are cut. Like no one, there's no interviews anymore.
yeah.
It's weird, but I have cried because I didn't have a job because I felt so fucking worthless. And I have to tell myself, I know that's the structure of the world to make me feel like I ain't shit if I'm not shopping, if I'm not earning money. But calm down. You have enough savings. You have someone to help you. Like there's people out there with legit nothing. So shut the fuck up. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's like my brain to shut the fuck up and stop worrying me with dumb shit. But just trust in your partner. Let them help you when they can, and be vigilant about finding employment. That's what I would say. I
Yeah.
have the same issue.
And just to couple with that, to piggyback off your answer and stuff like that, I feel like a lot of, if your partner is not making you feel bad about obviously them being more financially stable and creating the substance for you guys to have, comfort at this time and stuff like that, I feel like a lot of wherever your guilt might come from is very much internal from whatever it is that you might be carrying from family traumas and stuff like that, which is why I said to you, like, there is a part of you that knows where that's coming from.
I've been trying to contact that part of me. I'm like, talk to me. I'm here. Like, I just
don't rush
it
it.
doesn't feel like the truth. Like I could easily be like, oh, I'm like this because of my childhood. I don't let like whack ass guys fuck with me. I don't let whack anybody fuck with me. I don't put up with abuse with children or women. But it just doesn't feel like it's from my childhood. It just feels like it's me. Like this is my spirit. Like before we got here. By the way, have you seen the preview to Soul, Pixar? Oh my God, it's gonna melt your heart. Like you could tell Pixar is gonna have all of us in tears. It's about the soul. It's called Soul. It's
okay.
Soul.
Where should I watch
it? Be going there, huh?
I said, where should I watch it?
YouTube. YouTube has a trailer. I think Jamie Foxx is the main character. It's a cartoon, but the cartoons be getting me. I'd be crying my ass off.
What I was
anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. In your particular situation, and obviously I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but just the instability of like the type of person your father was and how you characterized him as a person, I think that lack of stability and how it might have impacted your perception of money and making sure that you're entirely self-sufficient, because you saw how your mom, despite the fact that there might not have been financial issues, but you saw the dynamic and just like, I'm no funny shit, I'm never going to be with a whack nigga like how my father was treating my mom. I think that's where your internalized part of like, feeling guilt or shame around maybe not working or having money and stuff like that could potentially come from. And just to say to the person who's the child of the kingdom, Princess O. Why did I say like? I'm sorry, girl.
It sounds like an anime character. I love it.
Yeah, that was really strange. But don't let all of what. I don't think it's fair to yourself, especially if you're in a healthy relationship, to kind of carry that guilt or shame with you or feel like a user, unless you're applying that to a time that someone made you feel like that. And if this person is not making you feel like that, there's literally no reason to feel like that, especially if you guys are having healthy, open dialogues about, well, that I don't have a job right now, so what we doing? And he's like, I'm gonna take care of things. Or she's like, I'm gonna take care of things. And that is literally okay. And always be prepared to maintain and work on that kind of conversation, because it could literally change day to day depending on what that person might be feeling and or going through, but you shouldn't carry that much guilt or shame around that.
And be thoughtful. Like I won't OD and be like, yo, buy me those new kicks.
Right.
And plus I don't even know how old she is. Like they can easily be like a cute little couple, or like like us living at home with this person. I don't know if I read that they live together, anything like that. Just sometimes we cause our own stress. Like here I have this man that's ready to help me and I am crying and stressed out because I can't get a job. But like, chill out. You're fine. You know what I mean? Like there's stresses that we can control, and that's a miracle because there's so many stresses we can't. So like John always says, control what you could control. Your life becomes a lot better and easier that way. So let's see. Isabel, what's your sign? Zenith Llewellyn. Cute. I'm a Leo. My birthday is August 21st, and I know that August 23rd, it's when Virgo starts. So yep. Let's see.
You guys know my sign. I'm a Virgo with a Scorpio moon and all that type of stuff. I'm
How do
done.
you know what moon you are? How do I know what moon I am? Can you tell me?
You gotta go to natal chart on Cafe Astrology.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now though, I'm diverting from that, but I still got my ears to the streets when it comes to that.
Oh, right. You want to know what's up, right?
I low key, it's entertaining for me.
Exactly.
Great conversation starter. Looking at some of your questions.
I'm looking. Sorry for the quiet. I should just like talk before.
No, it's okay. We're looking for the questions.
I'm looking for question marks. So I'm like trying to narrow it down. Environment is sustainable.
Someone said Jezebel.
Jezebel.
Right? She put J-I-Z though. I'm dead.
Yeah, Jezebel.
Very funny.
That's hilarious.
Her question is, how do I bring myself closer to God with a barricade spirit? That's a girl.
Fake it till you make it. Right now. Like if I say fake it till you make it, you know how you was like pray for that person, and I thought that was such a dope answer. I'm gonna try it because you know how I was like, if a person don't want to grow, like they don't want to, they choose not to, I'm out. But you said pray for them, so that's like me faking it till I make it. Like I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try and pray for people that I cannot stand because they do not want to change, they do not want to grow. But I'm gonna try praying for them to see what happens. And I'm faking it, but I'm gonna fake it till I make it.
Don't try to wait it out. And same thing for Jezebel. Don't try to. Oh my gosh! And this is the thing that for a long time took me away from my relationship with God, which is what I choose personally. I know everybody chooses different things. I'm not here to evangelize or convince anybody of anything. I think everybody's on their own journey, and I've been through a lot of journeys. I went to tarot readers. I went to psychics. A bitch done, spin the block with a lot of these things. And honest to God,
effort was placed.
What'd you say?
I said effort was made in my country.
Like, I feel like, the happiest I've ever been is when I had a relationship with Christ. I know everybody says that at some point, and it kind of like makes a lot of us kind of like squint our eyes like, bitch, what the fuck you talking about? Like, how you develop a relationship with Christ? What the fuck?
But you know what they don't, and that's the difference, okay?
Right. And it's just a matter of like, personal testimony and stuff like that. But whatever is barricading your spirit, keeping you down, it's real, So we're not going to pretend like whatever is holding you down isn't real. That's the first thing about your healing and how you develop a relationship with God. But you have to do this one thing that is the fucking hardest thing to do. And it is be fucking vulnerable with yourself. Literally let it go to yourself. Say it to yourself. I'm in an abusive relationship right now. For the longest time, I did not admit to myself that I was in an abusive relationship or that what I was experiencing in my family.
That motherfucking enemy. Yep. Yes. Name the enemy. Yep. That's it.
Exactly. Exactly. And when you name whatever that problematic thing is, oh, that was a good save. Whatever that problematic thing is, whatever that barricading thing is, name it and write it down. And then on the side or however you write it, create solutions. How do I overcome this problem? And if it's a matter of like say your problem is being self-loathing or, procrastinating or just like being insecure, what is the contrary of literally what that is? So for me, when I was like working through a lot of things back when I was like really young, if I said right now I'm dealing with loneliness, I would fill my space with things that made me feel more self-sufficient in a way that I did not have to depend on the company of another person just for the sake of having the company of another person because I was lonely. I would fill my time with hobbies. That's how I actually started getting into YouTube. And also my friend Justine, she had encouraged me for so long. Justine, if you're watching this, thank you for your encouragement when we were young kids and stuff like that, because she's a lot of why I'm here as well. But
thank you, Justine, because we need this. We need Sade.
Who inspired you?
I don't even know. I just like to watch YouTube back in the day, and I wanted to start a channel. You know what's funny? I have my first video of me cleaning my house and recording myself so I could get used to talking. And it's that. Like just sitting there in the vault. But it wasn't any particular person. I just did it. But I inspire people every day. Like if someone's good at something, I'd be like, get on YouTube and teach them. Like today, we went to John got a barbershop. John went to get a haircut because tomorrow they shutting down the barbershops at 8 p.m. No more haircuts. So he's about to grow a fro like in high school. But he got a baldy, like he got a really low cut for the first time. It looks so cute because he has dark features, like dark eyebrows, dark. Anyway, but Wait, what the fuck? I lost my train of thought. What were we saying?
You are applying it to
Oh yes, Al. So Al is, by the way, he has a channel on here. It's called Al and Mel. This is us. They prank each other.
oh,
Like
the
they're from the
couple.
Bronx. They're fucking nuts, yo. They're like they're nuts. But I told him now is your time. Like get a channel dedicated to teaching people how to cut hair because people are home now. Like men can't get their hair cut. That's huge. Men grow like wolves. So jump on it. So if I see someone that's good at something, I try to keep them on that track and say, yo, if you got something to share, share it because it could get
plant the seed. And here's the thing, don't always look for other people to plant the seed for you if you're dealing with a barricaded or a low energy spirit right now. Plant it for yourself. Plant it for yourself because that's probably the part of the journey that God or whatever you believe in has you on right now, where it's asking you to be entirely self-sufficient and more than self-sufficient, but be introspective about your life and how you want to head it moving forward and stuff like that. And a lot of our healing has a lot to do with us as people first and everything else afterwards. So if you're dealing with low spirit, low energy, low everything, problems, solutions, and work on those solutions. Definitely work on those solutions. I hope that was a helpful answer. I feel like that's something I have to elaborate on, and I will talk about as time progresses and stuff like that.
I feel like I'm gonna take a sip of this onion every time you say I'll speak on it in the future. But I have a really good one, and I just want to say for that last person, it sounds cheesy and people always say it, but it is number one. It takes work. It takes physical, mental labor. So anyhow, this is a great one. Miss Dayan, she says, I'm 21, so she's a cub. In my eyes, you babies are babies. I want to take you and squeeze you and kiss you and give you a spanking in your butt. Miss Dayan, I'm 21. Her name is Miss Dayan. I'm 21, single, no kids, having a hard time finding my purpose. So I have two signs. I'm gonna give you A and B. So A, Isabel, says, this is the harsher truth. If you're thinking that these things, you're not saying that you're thinking this, but because you're mentioning it, I'm saying it. You're single and you have no kids and you're linking that somehow to purpose, then that's going to be your purpose and you're going to feel purposeless forever. So change that frame of thought. Change it completely. Your purpose is to live the human experience. That's my honest opinion when it comes to purpose. What that means for you is something different. You know what I mean? To me, I'm here to live, be good to myself, be good to my neighbors, and know what earth smells like and know what earth tastes like and just enjoy the fruits of earth, like the literal mangoes on the trees. I'm not trying to be a billionaire. I'm not trying to be walking on water. I'm trying to be a human and just be happy. That to me is the purpose. Single, no, having kids, a hard time finding my purpose. The other part of me says, you're a spirit. What do you want to do? What do you want it to be? Simple. It's going to always be simple. It's up to you. But I'm not going to act like it never happened to me because not having a job makes me feel purposeless. It makes me feel like I'm wandering, and it's why I feel so lost in the world because I'm not anchored down. But sometimes you just have so much freedom that you feel lost. That's a quote. What is it? I'm lost because I'm free, or I'm free because I'm free because I'm lost, something like that. But you're so free that you feel lost and you feel purposeless. I could give you the cheesy things and find out what you're good at and work on that and all of that. But the truth is, control your thoughts. Control your thoughts. Get yourself out of that space that says, I don't have kids, I'm single, I don't have a purpose. Your purpose is to be alive and healthy and strong. Work on that.
Wow, that was beautiful.
You know what I mean? Oh my God, I'm sweating. You see this? I was born sweaty. All of my family members are like this. We're just it's okay. But yeah, to me, I wanted to address it because I want you to know that you're a baby on earth and you're so you're so fortunate to have the future. You have the future. You have everything ahead of you. So so your purpose is whatever you say it is. In my opinion, is your human experience.
And speak life over your human experience. If you want to travel more, if you want, and here's the thing, what Isabella's saying is not saying that you can't have aspirations to have kids and a husband and stuff like that.
Definitely. I'm not saying that at all. But I just don't want you to feel like that's your purpose. Oh shit, my phone died. I have to get to it so I'm gonna charge it because go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. So I'm gonna bring up the questions and stuff and then we will continue. But you answered that very beautifully.
You think so? Because I felt like I lost her and I don't want to lose you.
No.
Sometimes there's too much going on in here and I I have like a lot and I lose my train of thought, but I'm
Well,
working.
we're not perfect human beings. We are on live, just really saying real shit.
Word. But now that stood out to me because I'm like, I'm always like a defender. Like you're a defender. I'm always gonna tell you, especially if you're a woman, like you're my sister. Like that's how I see it. Like I see women as everything and they get fucking sucked into so much dumbass beliefs. And I'm not saying being a mother is not your purpose, because some people are born literally wanting children and that's dope. But don't think that's it. Don't ever think that's it. Like whatever you say, you know how many people wish they could trade places with you, you little 21-year-old angel. Like how many people wish they could be 21 right now, single with no kids and no man? What?
Love that. Wow.
How many women that would love to be you right now?
That's crazy. But
Let me
you know,
tell you.
when you're 21 and you're young and you're attached to that kind of like perspective, or whatever the perspective is, like feeling like you want to work a corporate job or, you know, travel more and stuff like that, you don't really realize how many people would want to trade places with you. And I think that's a blessing in and of itself. And I think that's where we have to kind of make adjustments in our perceptions to grow as well, to try to figure out, okay, I have all of this and I don't have any of that. So now let me really hone in on what it is that I'm supposed to do while being here and being alive. And I think that is very, very, very beautiful.
I know. I just connect with the fact that I'm a spirit so heavily that I feel like I'm on this planet to live the human experience. That's my purpose here. And so I'm trying that before I go to whatever's next. If you see the preview of Soul, you're going to melt because it's called, I don't want to ruin it for you, but can I?
Yeah.
So this guy, he has this great day and every day, everything's going great for him. And then he falls in a manhole and he dies. And you see his cute little spirit. It's a cartoon movie. And then you hear someone say, he's like, where am I? am I in the beyond? And she says, no, you're in the great beginning. This is where you go. This is where you are before you go to earth. Like you're a spirit. And it's just, it reaffirms everything that I've recently been awakened to, like the last couple of years, that I'm a spirit. I have a human body. This thing is like a plant and one day it's going to die. Yeah. But my spirit is eternal, and it's going to go from here to there, maybe to earth, maybe to another place. If there are other places, I don't know, I don't remember. But like I see it as not remembering, but yeah, like I'm a human, like I'm just a spirit, like I'm not gonna OD and stress out over dumb things. I'm gonna make my purpose. I'm gonna try my best to make it, and it feels good in here when you do that. So once you start feeling good in here, you know you've gotten to that place, you're in that road, you're taking that walk, because you're no longer worried about what you don't have. You're realizing that what you have is this moment, this day, this second. Yeah. So I got your questions on your YouTube channel.
Okay, cool.
Because I don't want to move and charge my phone.
Someone says, how do you deal with criticism from family or not someone, excuse me, sorry. Sheena, I hope I'm saying your name right. Sheena DeFreitas. I'm probably not saying that right, and I apologize for not saying that right, but I do like your question. It says, how do you deal with criticism from family or who you choose as a partner?
Say it again. I'm sorry. I was reading something. Can you say it again?
No, it's okay. It says, how do you deal with criticism from family for who you choose as a partner? Oh, I read it wrong actually initially. How do you deal with criticism from family for who you choose as a partner? So as if like your family is criticizing your partner. That's a great question. That has a lot of intersections to it, because it really depends on the character of the person that is reflecting you or mirroring you. Because if they are not a good reflection of what it is that you stand on, and you are a decent human being, and these people are making criticisms, it's probably in good taste, no matter how petty or mean or, you know, subverse the narrative might be. But if the person that you are standing by loves you and you love them, and they stand on principles that reflect compassion, growth, respect, and all things encompassing of like just love in general, and your family still has criticisms of that, I consider that like hating, just like point blank and simple. Like there's nothing else to like get deeper into. Like some people are just fucking haters, and that's just what it is. They see light, they see love, and they're like, fuck that shit, and that's just what that is. And you gotta let that shit fly like water off your back. No funny shit. Like even for me, like with the same video that I just put up not so long ago, with the very little bit of contextual information and stuff like that, the 3 like heading comments are so, they're like backhanded compliments to the nature of my relationship, or just derogatory in general in some way or another, no matter how much good naturedness or good intent is in it. And honestly, they're not what it is that they're trying to say is not a reflection of the genuinity and the respect and the love that's happening in my interpersonal dynamic and my romantic relationship and stuff like that. So a lot of people are going to have a lot to say about the little clear eye view that they have when all of this is going on, you know, and you can't convince people to love what you have if you're loving it, you know. So you continue to love it, you continue to nurture it, you continue to water it and stuff like that. If you so desire, and if that person reflects every good part of you and better for you to like aspire to, and y'all move accordingly and kind of step away from that and pray for them, quite obviously, because they need prayer if they're fucking haters. But if they're not, and they really do mean you well, and they really don't like your partner, that's something to think about. And that's not something that I can really speak too much volume to, because that's something that you have to sit with yourself about, you know. And I'm sorry if that doesn't nurture a part of you that you're probably looking for, but that is like my honest opinion. And I do not mean to offend when I say that. I really mean that with the best of, you know, every part of how I understood that question and like what I thought was best to answer it.
So I love how you respond to that, because I'm on the end thinking, well, what did they do? What did he do? Like, has he slapped you in front of them? You know, what's, or she, I'm so sorry. This is trauma. But but it's basically boils down to exactly what you said. Are you healthy? Are you happy? Are you safe? If all of that is yes, then you just be with the person that you want to be with and keep it pushing. If now you know that this person is rotting your spirit, stealing something from you, stealing your life source or something, then be honest with yourself. But we don't know that. I don't even know how old you are. So if it's relationship questions or something, and you've been with your partner for a minute, mention your age and mention how long you've been with them, because that's going to help me.
Oh yeah, that contextual info. And yes, I love that you said that too, because contextual information, all those things are important. All of those things are important because they provide a perspective and a level of like understanding for us to work with, because you don't want to give generic advice for something that is a little more subversive. And that's actually like my frustration with a lot of like what's going on in the world right now, which is why I, for the most part, and that was like my random advice for the day. Sometimes it's more important to say what you feel rather than what you know. You know, and I know that kind of contradicts the knowing of like, you know, contextual information and how it provides for like, oh, like if you're this age and you know, if you have kids and stuff like that, for that type of question. But sometimes how do I explain this? I'm gonna have to come back to that. Actually,
Okay.
Yeah.
You want the next question? I have one
Yes.
that I'm eyeing. KD. I've been in a relationship for a year plus now, and my boyfriend has been accusing me of cheating and having another man, but I've never done that. How can I deal with this? I don't know what to do. Question mark 12 times. So I've seen this, and if you're not cheating, which I believe you're not, then there's only one answer here. Well, it could be two. He's very insecure, he's cheating, or he's just got issues that you cannot solve his issues.
Absolutely.
So please know that. Now, if you can speak to, if you like him, like me and Shade was talking about it earlier. I don't even know if it was on camera, but liking being just as important as love.
Yeah.
If you really like him and he's a caring person, and you see that he has this glitch, for lack of a better word,
Wow, love that word. Love
then
that
speak to him from the heart and be like, yo, I cannot do this much longer with you. You're frustrating me, and I need you to trust me. I need you to work at it. I'm not doing anything. That's all I got to give you, because this kind of, I don't know what's the accusing, but it sounds very frustrating. You can't live like that. You can't grow like that. I've been there in times where it was just, I literally had no trust. Like, there was no trust, and you can't grow like that in any way. So I hope that helps you. But Sade, you could add your 2 cents.
That beautifully again, because I was gonna say cut that nigga off, but I really was.
Yeah,
and that is a testament to your growth even still, because you said you just a moment ago said like, you know, I can't do that. Like, I don't think that I can have like that kind of perspective, but you just extended yourself in that way, in a way that I probably wouldn't, because that's still a trigger for me that is just very I can't take.
To me, it's a huge turn off. Like, I wouldn't be able to, like, like, all sexual appeal goes out the window when a guy is OD jealous. Like, the shit has turned me off since I was little.
Absolutely.
But I also understand that maybe, I don't know what he's experienced with you, or if he I don't know your history. So you know what I'm saying? You say you never did it, and I'm sure you never did, but I just don't want to be OD negative and be like, yo, this is gonna end badly, so leave him now. But as long as he's not like putting hands on you or anything like that, and you don't feel any way threatened or unsafe, if it's just an annoyance right now, try to speak to him from the heart. But you can't dedicate your life to a person who's, and again, you don't mention how old you are, how long you've been together. So, oh wait, you said a year plus. That's a short time in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
it is for time.
I wish I knew your age too, because that does change. Like things change with age. You get into a relationship with someone, and it becomes not OD easy, but easier. But yeah, so it all depends on the level. Like, how deep is this mistrust? Like, how are you? Are you feeling safe? You feel like he's stalking you? You feel like he's making fake social media accounts to catch you? Like,
Yeah.
and if you're seriously like innocent, then that shit must be annoying.
Yeah, not even annoying, but just like dangerous. If it's dangerous, girl, please get the fuck
Hell
out
yeah.
of that. Like,
But it's
whatever
like,
way possible,
yeah,
get the fuck
yeah,
out of that.
definitely out, gone, bye. I don't care.
As
Like, because that
far-
shit sucks.
Yeah, it really does. As far as the compassionate element of it, in the event that can be applied, and you have like one of those very particular, very monotonous situations that people don't get to explore or talk about enough, because again, a lot of people will give you the generic advice of saying leave that nigga, all that jazz and blah blah blah.
Mhm.
But if your situation applies to these kind of like pillars of just like, there's insecurity, there's mistrust, and all these different things, because you guys are both people who are dealing with a lot, and he's dealing with a lot more, and there's not that level of like equity in your relationship that allows for like balance in the cog to flow, then I would say try to dedicate yourself to the conversational element and stuff like that. It might not be, there might be a way to work through that, but I don't want to suggest that in the event that you are in a potentially reckless and or dangerous situation and stuff like that, because
We're gonna have to trust you. We're gonna have to trust you. But like, if it's his own insecurity, some guys are like mad insecure. It's whack as hell. But some guys are mad insecure and they take it out on you. And some guys are fucking hookers and accusing you of cheating. And I know a million of them. And it didn't happen to me personally, but I've seen it like right there. Like, I've seen it. I've seen guys choke up their wives, accuse them of cheating when they were like, and there's nothing, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong if you're a sex worker, like ever. I'm never judging you. I actually feel like the men that are the fucking assholes in that scenario. But I've seen it. I've seen a guy like have mad prostitutes and do all sorts of shit and beat up his wife for jealousy. Because he was jealous because she was cheating or some ignorant shit that he made up because it was him doing the wrong. And I'm not saying that's you. God knows that's probably not you at all in your scenario. I'm just saying that it's usually insecurity or he's cheating for the most part. It boils down to those two.
So let's take one last question because we've been on since like 8:30.
Oh my God.
Let's
I could go on forever, but yeah, we need a break.
Let's see. Some people are answering other people's questions. You guys are
no, ain't that wonderful?
I love that.
Oh, I don't know what Carpool Sampaio said Brazil ? But I don't know what that means. I don't know. Some of them, I could see that it's too, like the conversation, it requires more time than we could give right at the moment. So
yeah. Some Desiree Bethlemine, her question is, and I guess we're gonna end with you. Sorry, we didn't get to everyone's questions. The question is, how do you deal with the feeling of the unknown, such as knowing when work will start again or what the future holds? This causes me a lot of stress.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, for some reason, I feel calm during these times of the unknown. But right before all this, when I was struggling looking for a job, the unknown was choking me out. I had to cry it out and go through that fear and come out on the other end where I'm like, fuck that fear, fuck that unknown. Like, I got to get by. I got to make it through. If you're having financial concerns, that's different. Like I said, I have a cushion that I rely on I'm thankful for. But for the most part, I had to get through it on my own because everyone was trying to tell me, you're okay. You're not going to be poor in the street. But I felt highly insecure because of the unknown. You just have to have like faith. and it's so cheesy, like, oh, faith ain't gonna pay the bills, but
No.
shit, you cannot surrender to the grief and the fear. That's what I'm basically trying to say. Bless you. Corona, 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 where they go? Excuse me, can you put your mask on? I know we over there, you know, our Wi-Fi, but still.
Girl, I'm about to light this shit right now. Sorry.
But yeah,
Um,
so
that's a hard question.
it's tough because bills
I
are
don't
real.
want to, I don't want to cheese it up or anything like that. But honestly, it's not cheesy. Like, it's really a matter of having faith that things are going to turn around while maintaining a level of a commitment to a routine that leverages you to a better place, because faith without work is dead, quite obviously. But sometimes we're running into the same pattern and finding that we're running into a brick wall, or things are dead, or there's like stress in this environment. And the reason for that is for us to overt ourselves to the direction that, God or the universe wants us to go in. And I know
I like that.
very, like up in the air, and it's like, bitch, what are the real answers here? Honestly, we don't have the real answers, because everybody is living their own different life and is intended to go in their own particular direction. So when I say, have an attitude of faith, it also means being in a spirit of being still enough to receive what it is that, the universe or God, however you see it, is, kind of taking you to. Sometimes we're so conflicted about what it is that we want for our lives that we're not really focused on what it is that life wants for us. So it's kind of like what you said earlier about oh my God, you said it so perfectly earlier. Oh my gosh, I just lost it. I literally just lost it. But you said something earlier that was perfect, that I'm probably going to write in the description box and stuff as it applies and stuff like that. But none of us have the answers. Literally nobody has the answers. And the only way for you to live a better life is for you to sit down with your problems, with your stresses, and figure out what is the solution to these. And sometimes just looking at them and crying and grieving and mourning for the things that you're going through, so that it doesn't overwhelm you so much that you're debilitated by the stress of like work or your relationships or the unknown and stuff like that. Sometimes sit with that omnious space and feel it. And I think that's what I was trying to get to like earlier in the conversation and stuff, which is where my compassion extends, and you just obviously did the same thing. So even that, like, we're always growing as people. We might speak declaratively over what it is that we're not going to be or what we're not going to become, but we're all here to grow. And sometimes you have to interject, it's weird, but like unstable spaces for you to figure out how to become stable again. And so right now the world is at a halt that we, as millennials, or, even kids younger than us, have never experienced, in our time. And it makes for a good time for a lot of us who might have been dealing with the stresses of work, or might be dealing with the stress of a, domestic violent relationship or family traumas and stuff like that, for us to figure out how to navigate a better way and to make declarative good choices to have a better future. Just think about the future and what you want for it. Try to imagine yourself there, and imagine it good, imagine it bright, imagine it wondrous, because honestly, from a, the esoterical, stance and, universal stance, depending on what it is that you're subscribed to, it is said that we are supposed to live good lives, but some people divert from that and choose other directions that make it hard for us to think clearly about what a good life might be or what it might reflect. And you gotta protect this, your heart and your head, protect it, and protect what's coming in and filtering out, so that you can speak life over what it is that you want for the future, because truly none of us know. We just speak aspirationally for what it is that we want. And you kind of have to use that as the header of how you navigate your life, so that you don't feel overcome with grief or sadness or, mistrust for the future and like this level of uncertainty. And I hope that answers your question to the best of my ability, because I really, that's a hard question to answer, because
I mean, to give the answer, nobody got the answer, but stay calm. If you got to cry, let it out. Just don't OD and make yourself like really worried, because you'll make yourself sick, and you got to be strong for whatever's coming. And apply for whatever government help you could get. Like if you could apply for unemployment, if you've been let go or whatever, apply for that shit like ASAP. Like reach out and get the help that the government owes you. But yeah, like do your part in that portion. If you've been let go, which I don't know, is that it's not legal to be like letting people go at this time, right? Like they're supposed to.
Not even sure, because people will do it anyways. Like if she's working under the books or something like that, like you're gonna get let go quite obviously, because these people can't continue to employ those who so they'll just find other ways, and then it leaves you kind of like barren and trying to figure out like what are the other ways for me when you've just been so dependent on that thing. So it does create like a big conflict.
Because she said going back, she said for the unknown, meaning like not sure if you lost your job or something, you know what I mean? But or maybe just the unknown of when we could go outside again and be normal and go to the park. So just try to keep like your mind strong. That's the best thing I could say at the moment, is keep this strong, because this is going to guide everything else that you do. And cry. I'm not saying don't cry, because crying is like watering yourself. So cry. But try your best to have that moment, be pissed, be angry, be sad, be nervous, and then get back to the healthiest that you need to be to keep it pushing.
Yeah, and commit to that part too. Don't feel bad about feeling mad and miserable and sad about.
Yeah, everybody is. Let that shit out.
Let it out. Literally sit with it, and then stop sitting with it, and stop feeling bad for yourself or insecure or just frightened with the unknown, because literally none of us know. We only know what we know. And that's why I said what I said about the random advice, as far as like sometimes it's better to go with you feel than what you know, because your feelings, they're innate. They're just like inside of you and you can't explain it. They just are. And sometimes it's better to just really sit with what you're feeling. And if it's frustration about the unknown, be frustrated and then be unfrustrated by committing to the routine and the repairing and the maintenance of what it is that you want for your future. And I hope that really clarifies that. Sorry, I have to spit. Okay, I think that is pretty much everything, because we done gave y'all like a 2
hour. This is so wonderful. It feels like a half hour, but it feels like this. Like the last time we did a practice run yesterday, and it was supposed to be 10 minutes of making sure that everything was functioning, and it was like a 33-minute conversation, because I have that on my channel.
Oh, I love that.
It's private. It's a mess, but it's private. It's there. I'll probably release it one day, but it turned out to be like 33 minutes. I was like, damn, it's supposed to be 10 minutes. But thank you for giving me your time. Tell Stefan I said good night, and I hope you guys have a decent evening. Everybody out there, it was a pleasure speaking with you all today. I look forward to speaking to you more often in the future, because we pay for this Zoom account, so we're going to put it to work.
Yes.
Even though I'm going to hustle online and see how OBS works, because that's free. Anyway, thank you all for having me. I hope that you found something I hope that I was useful somehow tonight. Sade, thank you, boo. Yes. You're wonderful. Stay wonderful. And I guess we'll talk soon. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know how you want to exit the video. You're the host.
What everyone said about the bi-weekly thing is something that we can definitely commit to.
Hell yeah.
So you guys can could know what date, or something like really like breaking news, comes in, we'll comment.
Yeah, don't even gotta be bi-weekly. Like, just holla at me. I'll make that shit work, because I love this. This has been so, like, there's such a loneliness when you do YouTube, and it takes up 24 hours of your life, like mad work. But this is the least lonely. Like, I feel so good right now. You have no idea. I'm flying. And
thank you to all of you guys for coming and participating. We love talking to you guys. I know like my whole audience isn't here, and I know all of Isabel's audience isn't here, but I know that as time progresses and we actually post it, more of you guys will come, and like there'll be a thorough conversation in the comment section down below and stuff like that. But you guys, I love you guys. You guys are my heart. You guys have inspired me. You guys have motivated me. You guys have been around for a very long time, and you guys are, it's like this, it's a cog, so I'm open to everything that you guys are saying. Me and Isabel will come back and do it again. Isabel's, what's your channel name? It's Isabel on YouTube. So I know Isabel can speak for herself and stuff, but it will be linked in the description box. I just didn't add it yet because it's live. So
yeah, because we were a half hour late. We're supposed to be on at 8.
But yes, Gem Floral. Yes, shout my girl out, Isabel on YouTube.
Hey,
and that is pretty much everything. I bid you guys adieu. Thank you to my guest, Isabel. Yeah, you're been wonderful. Thank you. Tell John I said good night as well. And stay safe. And we will catch up probably in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, with another, informative conversation about just the shit that we're thinking about, and some of whatever it is that you guys put in the comment section down below.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Bye. Hopefully I end this properly, because last time I did not do it properly.
I think you just have to leave meeting or end meeting for all.
End meeting. Okay. Love you guys. Good night.